Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Jack and Diane arrive outside of society, kissing and eager to make up for their lost time. Peering through the window, she spots Victor and Nikki inside. It would make her day to ruin Victor's. Her husband suggests they ruin his day together. Nikki and Victor are sitting at a table inside. She's surprised to see Jack walk in with Diane on his arm. No sooner has Victor wiped his mouth than the Abbotts have swanned over to start the taunting. Nikki hopes that she's not witnessing a reconciliation. Jack confirms she is, and it's all because of Kyle. They talk about how the mustache used Kyle to hurt his parents, and Victor shoots back that if he wanted to hurt them, they wouldn't see it coming. He smirks as Diane calls him a backstabber. He assumes she must be upset about the Glissade deal. She says it was no deal. It was a scam, and he sold off the assets, leaving her an empty shell. I thought it was only fitting to give the empty shell of a company to the empty shell of a person, he says. They ask if he set their son up to fail. Victor says that's what his parents did to him. He claims he's many steps ahead of them. They bicker about the Abbott family being in turmoil, and the Newman says that failing seems to be a genetic trait. Jack claims his son will do great things now that he's away from Victor. The Newman suggests that Jack held his son down and crippled him. Jack and Diane cross the room and get a table. He assures his wife that Kyle will forgive them. The important thing is that they rescued him from Victor. Diane manages to smile as they realize that only a week ago, they never would have imagined spending Thanksgiving with their son. Jack thinks that this whole mess could be behind them by Christmas. Back across the room, Nikki cringes at how cozy Jack and Diane seem. Victor doesn't care about this, but she hates Jack being stuck with that woman. On her way out, Nikki stalks over to Jack and Diane for a moment to complain that she thought he'd come to his senses. After she's gone, Jack says Nikki doesn't like to be fooled, and their performance did that. As much as Diane enjoys getting one over of Nikki, she worries that they may have lost their son in their fight to keep him away from Victor. Once again, Jack assures her they will not lose their son. She gives a skeptical snort. He gets a text and explains that when he heard that Victor was selling off Glissade's assets, he bought it all up at pennies on the dollar. That means that Glissade is whole again. She thinks he's brilliant. Jack wasn't about to let Victor have the last laugh. They kiss. Kyle sits on a bench in the park and morosely recalls his fight with his parents over how they deceived him. He also remembers the offer of the co-CEO position that his mother made him to make amends. As he ponders that, Claire arrives. She tells him he doesn't need to pretend things are okay for her benefit. It seems like things are even tenser than yesterday. He explains that his mom dropped a bomb and offered to step aside and let him take her place at Abbott. Diane has claimed this is to make amends, but he's not sure if it's a sincere gesture of atonement or just another manipulation. Claire can't speak to his mom's motives, but she seems sincere to her and really seems to be hurt by all that's happened. Kyle still doesn't know if he can trust his parents. She's seen how genuine his mom's love and heartache are. He's tired of thinking about this, so he changes the topic to her and how her holiday went. She loved it. The family holiday stuff is new to her. He said she deserves to be surrounded by love and family. They kiss. Nikki and Victor drop by the Chancellor offices, where Esther is happy to greet them, even if she doesn't know what the company is called at this point. The new bosses assure her it will always be Chancellor. Esther is sure that Mrs. C would approve and would love having Nikki in charge. They assure her that she can keep her job. When they wander into Nikki's office, Victor's impressed by how much she's already made it her own. His wife shows him the office-warming gifts that her kids gave her, and then holds up a photo of Catherine. He misses Catherine, but he's sure that Nikki will keep up her legacy and make the company even more successful. She says she should have had faith he would get what he had his mind set on. Chuckling, Victor has her sit behind the desk, so he can take some photos to send to the family, so they know that she is finally the CEO of one of the biggest companies. Taking a deep breath, she says it feels right, and she's ready to take on the world. The world better watch out, he says. She beams. Claire and Kyle race into the Abbott manse. They are about to head upstairs when his parents interrupt. Diane asks her son if he has considered her proposal. Kyle asks her to speak alone. They enter the dining room. Jack muses to Claire on whether they could have done things differently. Did they do enough? She hopes so. Kyle and Diane sit on opposite sides of the dining room table. He accuses her of manipulation on a grand scale. and she protests they did not do it for themselves, but to push him past his anger. They thought he would wake up to how important they were to each other if he saw how heartbroken they were. Then maybe he could feel something other than anger. Her son points out it was a twisted plan, and Diane insists they were desperate. Seeing him get pulled in by Victor crushed Jack, but he believed that he could come back to them and the love they share. Did it work? Leading into her worst side killed her, but she needed to do it to stop Victor. Now he's free of him. Her son points out she had to know there might be no coming back from her, making him hate her again. Diane said she would give up anything to save him, even his loving her. Kyle and Diane return to the others. He says that he understands and accepts what they tried to do. He doesn't condone how reckless and manipulative they were, but he can see he gave them little choice. It's on him. He chose anger over love, and that was wrong. He'd like to put the hard feelings behind them, and would be honored to return to Jabba. Diane throws her arms around him and thanks him. Jack takes his son's hand, and then hugs him. Summer and Phyllis are at Crimson Lights. Once Summer has handed her mother a bacon maple scone to cheer her up and fusses over her. Phyllis reminds her that she got a clean bill of health. It was a lot for her daughter to see her so still and quiet in the hospital. Phyllis assures her she won't be staying quiet. Her eyes narrow when Sharon walks in. She can't believe that she has the gall to show her face around town and begins bellowing at her. Sharon immediately walks over to say they don't have to do this. Her old enemy is sure she'd love to forget that she's alive and well. She accuses her of pretending to care. Summer urges her mom to keep her distance. What are you gonna do? Kill me like you did Heather? Phyllis taunts Sharon, accusing her of graduating from maniac to homicidal psychopath. She demands some answers. Droning, Sharon says she wishes she could tell her what happened. Immediately, Phyllis accuses her of painting herself the victim, but Sharon admits that she hurt her and her family. Summer and Phyllis would both like to see her take responsibility. Crossing to the condiment station, Phyllis follows and accuses her of manipulating people like Michael and Nick to make excuses for her. You tried to shut me up. I don't shut up, Phyllis says, telling her she's crossed the line. Summer tries to stop this again, but her mom continues, listing all the crimes she thinks Sharon has committed. Sharon is sorry and can understand it if she doesn't believe how much remorse she feels. Apologies are not what Phyllis wants. She will never forgive or forget what she's done to her family. If Michael gets her off, she will seek her out and get justice, showing no mercy. When Sharon stays silent, Phyllis wonders why. She explains she has no defense. All she can do is try to show remorse. Who is this performance for? Phyllis asks. Once again, Summer tries to calm her mom down, but this only makes things worse. Phyllis has been going on for months about how Sharon was guilty. Getting in her face, Phyllis tells Sharon that she is going down. No matter what she does, she won't get away with it. You're absolutely right. Sharon agrees, adding that she is ready to take full responsibility for all of her crimes. She wants to do all she can to help the healing. If what she did was indefensible, Phyllis suggests that she fire Michael, plead guilty, and serve the full sentence. Then no one will have to experience the pain that just being in her presence brings. That's enough, blurts Michael as he interrupts. Phyllis tells him he's lost a client because Sharon is pleading guilty. The lawyer explains she will need someone to represent her in court regardless. His old friend is disappointed in him and will never forgive him for his betrayal. Declaring that she's repulsed, Phyllis is about to leave with her daughter when she stops to speculate on Sharon's motives. She says that there has been enmity between them since the night Cassie died. Her guess is that the things she's done have been an attempt to get over her pain and grief. Sharon admits that is part of it. Phyllis is surprised that she didn't think she would fight just as hard to get justice for her kids. Michael and Sharon sit on the patio. She tells him that Phyllis has every right to be upset. She's broken so many laws she doesn't feel like she has the right to hide behind them now. The lawyer thinks she should be getting her life back on track. Sharon has decided that Phyllis gave her a reality check after she'd taken a break from it. The more she thinks about it, the more she thinks Phyllis may be right. If she wants to honor the goodness of her daughter, she needs to take responsibility for the wrong she's done. She doesn't need a trial. She wants to plead guilty to all charges and go straight to prison.